Welcome back, friends, and talk about vision boarding. Grab your tea, friends. It's always necessary. So basically, I turned 30 and she was corrupt in the last 2 years that I've had it. She did. She's so cute. I needed a change. We are back at it. I had some traveling on here, and let's stay connected. Welcome back, friends. It's Tay. Did you miss me? It's been a minute. I have left y'all and neglected y'all for about 4 months, but don't worry, I'm back. I'm back to chat and yap and talk about our goals for 2026 and talk about vision boarding and all that fun stuff. But I figured I owe you guys a little update on where the hell I've been at for the last 4 months. So grab your tea, friends, because if you know me and if you're new here, a tea is always necessary for our yap sessions. Anyway, again, if you are new here, my name is Taylor and I am your New York City event planner girly. Pretty much, other than event planning, I do everything else. So I am a doer of all things. I'm an investor, I'm an event planner, I like to travel, like to hang out with my friends, my family, yada, 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 yada. And yeah, so before you do anything else, like, subscribe, comment, share with your friends. Yeah, I'm basically telling you to share this video before you even listen to it, because you know what? We're gonna drop some gems today. Today we're talking about 2 things. One, what I've been doing to reset my 2026 and start this year on a good foot. And 2, we're talking about your vision board and why I'm gonna tell you that you've been doing it the wrong way every year that you've been making one. So we're gonna get started today and just yap it and chat it up. But we have to change positions because I gotta get off this floor. I had to get up off that floor. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Apologies for my audio. It's not going to be that great. It's not, because my mic for some reason is not working. So we are just using the Osmo Pocket audio without the mic. So hopefully y'all can hear me. Hopefully you don't hear too much noise background, but it is what it is. I live in New York City, babes. That's just how it is. But anyway, where have I been for the last 4 months? I promise I didn't mean to leave you like that. It was a series of unfortunate events, to be honest. Something told me that I just don't think the Lord wanted me to produce any video content because of what happened. So basically, I turned 30 and I had a big 30th birthday party, which I'm so sad you guys didn't get to see, because guess what? I was vlogging that day, and after the party was over, I came back home the next day to load my SD card and she was corrupt. She wasn't working. I couldn't get her to work. Honestly, I think my cousin might have played with it, or my friend was playing with it, and the next morning I just couldn't use my SD card. So I don't really know what happened, but I was devastated. I had to get another SD card, which came in the mail like maybe 2 days later. But then when I started recording content again, girl, I've dropped my camera maybe like 50 times already. Like, in the last 2 years that I've had it, or year and a half that I've had it. And let me tell y'all, I was sitting right here on this bed and I was playing with my camera, and that shit dropped right there on the floor and shattered my screen. I couldn't see anything on it. So luckily enough, I had insurance, so I sent it out, got it. It was supposed to get fixed, but they told me it was beyond repair, apparently. So they ordered me a new one. So after all that time, we are now back. We are now here, and we are going to record, and we're gonna film all the content. So I've been mainly on Instagram and TikTok these last few months, but I will be back on YouTube. Anyway, let's get into what I have been doing to reset my 2026 year. But first, we have to refill my teacup because she's low. She's super, super low. She's super low. Wait, do you all like my new coffee cup? Isn't she so cute? Isn't she adorable? My cousin got her for me for Christmas, and I'm not even sure if I'm supposed to be drinking out of this thing because it should just be on my countertop, but honestly, it gives. She gives. She's so cute. But back to what we're really here for. All right, so to reset my new year, I've pretty much been doing the same thing that I did back in 2024. So if you look at my videos from when I first started posting on YouTube, please watch with discretion. They are not that great. And I honestly wasn't comfortable filming in front of a camera. However, I did explain in those videos that I needed a change. I needed something different. I needed to do something different. So I decided to hop on said YouTube and expose myself to the world. And just start talking to a camera and get really comfortable with myself doing that. And truthfully, I did. That was one. The second thing I decided to do was I started waking up early and reusing my mornings to create some sort of routine for myself to be able to film content, edit content, do all that stuff at the end of the day. because before I was just waking up right before work, going to work, coming home, having enough time to eat, make dinner, clean my house, do laundry, somehow fit like physical fitness in there, and that wasn't working. So I decided to reprioritize waking up early and doing some work in the morning or some household tasks in the morning or going to the gym and alternating between both. So this year we are back at it with some serious behavior because now I was waking up at like 6 o'clock then, 6:35, whatever. Now I'm a hardcore 5 a.m. girly. So I've been reading this book called The 5 a.m. Club, and wow, it's upside down. This book called The 5 a.m. Club. So this book, I do love this book, and I was already on this 5 a.m. journey before I started reading this book, but I started my 5 a.m. journey again back in December, and now it's been a full month. It's about to be February, and I've been waking up early every morning and doing my routine, whether it's like going to the gym or getting work done in the morning, whatever, doing some admin stuff. But trust me, y'all, the 5 a.m. club people were not lying, and it really is a game changer. Like my whole day when I get home is open to do whatever I want because I prioritize either working out in the morning or doing some admin work and getting some things done. And now I just have all the time to do what I need to do, which is like a game changer. And if you're considering joining the 5 a.m. club and don't want to be super, you know, like this, the way that I look at it is I don't think about it as like a rigid routine. I think about it as a choice. Like, if I don't wake up early today, my life is not going to change. And what are we constantly looking to do? Evolve as people. So stop overthinking it and just think about it simply as, if you don't wake up tomorrow at 5 a.m., you're just going to be doing the same thing you've been doing this whole time, and nothing is going to change for you. And when I started that routine in 2024, trust me, it changed my life within 6 months. I started working with people that I had never worked for with events because I had more time to produce content and post online about what I was doing. I was invited to events that I had never been invited for because people had known who I was, and I was finally putting myself out there, and just a lot had changed for me. So yeah, anyway, this book I would highly recommend. It's a good fast read, although I'm not even done yet. I'm almost there though. I only have I think 75 pages left. I will say that it started off a little slow in the beginning for me, but it is a good story and it is a good read about why the 5 a.m. club can change your life. So I recommend it. It's by Robin Sharma. So look it up, get it on Amazon. My friend actually bought this for me when I saw him post it on Instagram, and I was like, send it to me, and he did. So this is a nice little Christmas gift. Anyway, if I say anyway one more time, we're gonna have to have big beef with me on this. That's gonna be something that I'm gonna have to really be thoughtful of now. But the other reason why I was here was to also tell you about vision boarding. And yes, we all know at the end of every year, your girls get together and they're like, let's have a vision board party. And then y'all do this vision board. You make all these unrealistic goals for the year. And then you get mad at yourself when nothing comes to fruition. And that's just not how you should be doing it, friends. Like, I'm telling you, the vision board parties are fun. They're cute, but also make it purposeful. And the reason why I'm referring to a vision board and why this all falls into this 2026 plan is because I have been doing a lot of reflecting on my life and the last 5 years. So a part of me resetting 2026 was not only just resetting my routine, but reflecting on all the things that I've done over the last few years, and kind of where it all started was with this vision board. And I wanted to know, how far have I come? Where am I at now? And let's reassess where I've been and where I'm trying to go, because you can't move forward if you don't remind yourself about how far you've come. That's really important. So, they don't know I ball, but your girl has a vision board that I made at a vision board party that I hosted at my apartment maybe 6 years ago with 2 of my friends. And she is here. I hope you can see her and the glare isn't that bad. But trust me, she's not perfectly put together. You see her? She's not perfect. But she was something that I built a few years ago because I just needed some change. I just needed a little bit of, reminding, and I just felt really lost and I didn't know what direction I was going in. I think I had to be 23 or 24. 24 when I made this vision board. I had just moved into this apartment, so I was only here for 2 years. And now I've almost been here for, I think, 8, 9 years now. But I'm sharing this vision board with you because it's very personal, but she will be changing now. So now that we are grown and 30, it is time to change out our new vision board. And the reason why I'm saying this and that y'all have been doing this wrong is because every year you make a new vision board, but are you making a vision board for your life? Like, I think it was Issa Rae. I love me some Issa Rae. I think she's on here. Who in I don't know what year, but whenever I made this vision board, said you need to stop making a vision board for your year and start making a vision board for your life. And that was like game changing for me, because every year I kept making these vision boards or setting unrealistic goals and expectations for myself, and then mad at myself for not making them in that year. When the reality is, it takes a lot longer than you think to achieve a lot of these things. And not saying that you won't do it, it's just gonna take time. And just because you can't do it in 2 months or 4 months or even 6 months doesn't mean it's not capable of being able to come to fruition, and it will. But here are the things that I put on my vision board. And I left gaps purposefully because I was supposed to fill them in over the years, but I just put this in a frame and put it on the wall. And yeah, so we're gonna go over what is on here and what I've done so far and where I plan on making some changes in the future. So the first thing is I have Issa Rae on here, obviously the lady who gave me that quote. I love her down. Yara Shahidi, she was someone who exemplified Black young excellence in a way that she is someone who is an activist. She's someone who truly does, work towards what she believes in through her acting, but also in her political stances, but also just being a Black female actress. She was amazing. She is amazing. I love her. And then Elaine Welteroth. I love this girl down because I was reading her book More Than Enough when I was making this vision board. So that must have been when the book was just released. I was making this vision board. And I put the cover of the book on here because this is the first book I read that made me feel like there were other relatable women out there to me, and in terms of how I was feeling about making my own moves, breaking my own barriers, not listening to what people have to say about my own life choices and what I'm doing. Because someone like me who is in the field of event production, as a Black woman in event production in New York City, who works with a lot of clientele who is not or does not look like me, it gave me faith that there are other women going out, doing the same things as me in different capacities and in different ways. And it just felt really good to relate. Like, I was glued to that book. I read that book, I think, on like a winter vacation or Thanksgiving break, and I killed that. So yeah. Then let's make it over here. We have Essence, because I just loved reading Essence at the time. Finding success on your own terms. Going back to what I was saying about like me being an event producer and not knowing a lot of people who do what I do, and just finding success on my own terms. Grow your wealth. Money, 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 money. So I know people say, or what's the saying? Money doesn't make people happy or something like that. I don't know, they lied, because money can change the game. So just being big on investing and like owning homes and all that stuff, and just investing my money. At the time, I didn't know what I was really going to do to grow my money. I figured I could just do it through work. But over the last 5 years, I've realized that that has changed and can be done in different capacities. I can invest, I can work side hustles, I can work my main job. Like, there's just different ways to build wealth, and everyone is different. Okay, now fitness. I wanted to make fitness a priority, so I got some fruit down here and stuff like that, which I did, and I'm doing now, which I'm really happy about. I have some traveling on here. I think this is Greece, but I haven't made it to Greece yet, but that's okay because I did travel to a lot of places. I went to Spain, London, Portugal. I've been a lot of places in the last few years, and I continue to travel. Travel is not my problem. With me, I will jump on a plane. That's my real problem. You don't have to tell me twice. I'll be like, where you wanna go? Word, we out. So there's that. And then I have a big thing right here that says increase your income. That was also a part of my financial goals. I have, you've got to have faith in what you're doing. Nipsey. And this is around the time also that Nipsey had passed away, so I had to make sure that a quote from him made it on this board, because I felt like after he had passed, I didn't know too much about him before he had passed, but after he had passed, I was doing a lot of deep dive on research on him and also just listening to a lot of his music, and a lot of it was just so inspiring. And I was listening to Nipsey, and still do for a while after that, just to like hear some of the things that he was saying in his music, but also in general, and how motivating it was. I do have an impact piece up here that also just talks about, to me, like how I want to make an impact. And I don't think I've still figured that out yet. Like, while I want to create impact through my social content now and, you know, be someone who influences other people to have faith in themselves and go hard for themselves and, you know, just really just be someone who presents good vibes. Like good vibes, but also like life experience, because I do have some experience under my belt now. So we're still working on the impact part and what that means, whether it's philanthropic or other things, but we'll see. Here is a picture of 2 elephants because I wanted to go to Africa and I did. So that was fun. Everlasting love is at the bottom. But there's one thing, oh yeah, there's also some event setups here. Like, I don't know if you guys can see that, but a few like event tablescapes. And that was just basically an ode to me, like getting more creative with my events and working on different things. And while I have gotten more creative with my events at my company, I am looking for more, the company that I work for, I am looking at more ways to be more creative in a world where like events have taken over brands and, you know, activations and all that stuff. I really would like to get more, just like not more experience, but I guess just in rooms with people who are thinking like that. And like, how can we get more creative? Not just about pushing brands, but like, how can the brand world and how can the philanthropy world, so fundraising galas, all that stuff, collide with a world where there's so much brand activation and, you know, installations, and what can we do to combine those things? Because in often cases, a lot of foundations don't have budgets to really do a lot of the stuff that brands do, but I've been thinking a lot about how we can combine those things to just make our events more fun and lively and all that stuff. And the most important thing on this board right here, which I don't know if I'm gonna read to y'all, but maybe I will. As some of you know, my mom passed away, but before she passed, or when I moved into this apartment, she ordered me the daily read or the daily something. And basically I had no idea who sent it to me. I would just get these little books in the mail, and I thought it was just like a promotional thing, but it was like quotes from just the Bible, but also inspirational quotes. And at first I didn't know my mom was the one who sent that to me, but I was reading them. Like every morning I would wake up and read a quote or a scripture reading or anything. And it wasn't until like 2 years later after me moving into my apartment that my mom was like, oh, I subscribed to that for you. I've been sending it to your apartment for 2 years. But this one thing made it on the board, and I'm gonna read this out loud to y'all because I feel like it's something that I can refer to every time I look at this board. It says, I'm willing to follow my heart. I'm sorry, y'all, I read a little off. Like sometimes I skip over words, but trust me, I do have a reading disability. Don't really know what it is, to be honest, but here we are. Following my heart may not always be easy. I might feel influenced by other people's needs and expectations. Perhaps I am discouraged about my progress towards meeting my goals and fulfilling my dreams. Whenever I feel like life is daunting, it's important to remember that God is love. Because all of this, I am equipped to handle any situation. When I embrace this truth, any shadows of fear and regret fall behind me. I do not need to strain or struggle to make my way. I need only to trust in the wisdom of my indwelling Christ spirit. As I surrender my ego's need for control and certainty, life becomes comfortable. I joyfully live my soul's truth, and it is revealed to me in each moment of every day. I am willing to follow my heart. That is such a good quote. Not quote, scripture reading. Sorry. This is so good. And you know, my favorite part about it is as I surrender my ego's need for control and certainty, life becomes more comfortable. And I think that just speaks to the fact that like we are so always trying to be in control of our own paths and our own faiths. And the reality is it's already set for us. We just have to move in the spaces that are like divinely made for us. Like move in purpose and like block out all the stuff that is not fitting for you. The people who do not deserve to be around you. The energy of people who do not believe in you. Because at the end of the day, even your close family members will always have something to say. If you are doing something that is off the beaten path, not everyone's gonna understand. Some of your friends might support you, some of them might not, but you have to be willing to follow your own heart. And every time I feel like I don't know where I'm at in life, I read this little thing right here that's on my wall. But I also have 2 more things on here, ATL and houses, because at the time I was looking for houses in ATL to buy because I wanted to have rental property. And I did that, but I did it in Philly. So I will now be selling that home this year, which is super exciting. But I was able to accomplish so much on this board. I also increased your income. I became a big investor this year. I wouldn't say big investor. I made my first big girl investment outside of my Philly home, which is really exciting because, yeah, because I didn't think it was something that would come my way. And the only reason why that investment came my way is because I put myself out there on socials in 2024 and made some connections that have brought me to this big girl investment. So yeah, so my saying when it comes to creating vision boards is make sure you create a vision board for your life. Okay, don't create a vision board for stuff that you want to do just this year, because at the end of the year you'll be able to look back at it and you might not have accomplished anything and you will feel discouraged. Do not do that to yourself. I mean, this has just worked for me, honestly. I would feel discouraged. But sorry, again, I live in New York City, the audio is gonna be crazy. But I would say that this board now has to change for me because some of these things, let's wait till this passes. Yada 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 yada. Some of these things I've already done. Some of them will come off, but I need to add new things. Like, y'all, I have a boyfriend. Crazy. So I never like, when I created this board, didn't put anything about family on here, and I was like, family or kids or anything like that, and those are things that I all want for myself. So I think I might add a little something on there. I want like my dream apartment. I love my apartment currently, but we might be renovating her to make her more me and more like 30-year-old Tay instead of 23-year-old Tay. This quote in the middle, this scripture in the middle will always be staying here because it keeps me grounded and it's the root of all things. And yeah, I truly think also when you create vision boards for your life, you're able to dream bigger and have your wildest dreams on here. And then when you look back in 5 years, those dreams don't look so wild anymore because you've probably already did half of them. So I am a big believer in vision boarding. Get your vision board night on with your girl, but this time try it a little bit differently. Do a vision board for your life, not just for this 1 year, because so much is going to change in 1 year. And you know, life is so unexpected. Things might happen in 1 year that might throw your life upside down and throw you off the path. But you know, rejection is redirection, and that's just the way life goes. So this is my little yap session for today. I'm happy you guys were able to join me. Yeah, get on your vision boarding, friends. I will be back on here yapping a little bit more over the next maybe a few months. Tell me what you want to see. Do you want more travel vlogs, or do you want like more, I don't know, do you want more travel vlogs? Do you want more me yapping at the screen? Do you want me dropping more gems? Should I get back to the interviews? I was doing interviews for a while and y'all really seem to like those. Should I talk about my hair? Like, I might do a little video on this hair. Tell y'all what I like and what I don't like about it as I experiment with new things this year. But thank you so much for tuning in. I promise I will not leave you that long again. And I beg of you to actually go watch my first video from YouTube, like maybe a few years ago. Was it 2 years ago? Maybe 2024. My confidence has changed. I have drastically changed. And that's all because I put myself out there. I have followed my vision board. I have constantly reminded myself of my goals, and you just got to keep moving forward, baby. So this is going to be a great 2026. It's going to be a great few years forward, and let's stay connected. Anyway, like, subscribe. See y'all later.